was the incident at your high school? Story 1. High school teacher started to become obsessed with one of my friends. He started calling her at all hours of the night, completely drunk, asking her to come over, etc. Eventually, she had to call the police. Fast forward a couple of days later, 3 or 4 police officers roll up on this teacher during one of his classes and arrest him in front of everyone. He was never seen again. Opinion. It's great your friend spoke up, but seeing the arrest in front of everyone must have been pretty shocking. I find it weird that teachers have students' numbers now. It doesn't seem appropriate to me. Story 2. Senior Prank 2009. Someone put fish fillets in the ceiling of the administration building, except they did it before Christmas break instead of summer, so it would rot for a week and then all the school staff would smell it when they got back. It took them months to figure it out since no one came forward to claim their deed. All the while, about a third of the entire school student body has been suffering and breathing this rotten fish aroma since the administration building is half offices, half arts department, and classrooms. It was terrible and the stench still haunts me. Senior pranks aren't even a thing at our school, LMAO. Opinion. I've heard of similar stuff, like when someone hid a bottle of lunch leftovers and milk in the library. It made the place smell really bad. The fish prank, though, sounds like it took things to another level. Dealing with that smell for months must have been brutal. I wonder if the person who did it regretted it once they had to deal with the smell themselves. Story 3. There were a few, but I think the best or worst one was when the senior class prank, vandalism, was to put weed killer on the football field to create a giant D. It could be seen on Google Earth for years. Edit. It wasn't the class I was in, just that it was a senior class. Opinion. That's pretty funny. It's crazy to think that it was visible on Google Earth for years. Sounds like that senior class left quite a lasting impression. Story 4. We had a mock car crash where the local fire department and other emergency services simulated what happened at a car crash to drive home the point of driving sober, etc. After prom and whatnot, we had the whole school watching, over 1,000 kids. One of the kids in my grade, early in the morning, relieved himself in a bag and smeared it all over the windshield of the car. Later that day, when they unveiled the car from under a tarp, the stuff was everywhere, and the whole crowd broke out into laughter. Opinion. Oh man, that's pretty rough. It's a shame that someone turned a serious mock crash meant to teach about driving sober into a joke with such a gross prank. I'm all for light-hearted pranks, but this one was way too much. Story 5. A group of people were spreading the intimate pictures of about 120 girls. Those pictures were being passed around by all the guys at school. Happened twice. 0 arrests as it was a rich private school and parents got involved. Also, the teacher made people answer weird questions their classmates asked. Or the time a kid showed up so out of it due to the usage of illegal substances that he passed out in class, had to be rushed to the hospital, was on an IV drop for a while, and tested positive for 7 out of the 8 substances he tested for. Didn't get suspended or kicked out. He was allowed to take his exams early and finish up about a month before everyone else. Opinion. Those stories are wild. Those kinds of pictures shouldn't be traded like Pokemon cards. What's wrong with people? It's frustrating nothing more came of it. Being rich must be pretty neat, with you being above the law and all that. The teacher's weird questions were just bizarre. I swear, some people shouldn't work with kids. So much inappropriate behavior. Jesus. And how's that kid still alive? Story 6. There were so many. The guy who released 3,500 crickets as a senior prank The time the principal punched a kid on the bus. The band director was in a same gender female love triangle with two students. The time the superintendent was being investigated for embezzling money. And the school records building mysteriously burned down. Edit. Okay, since everyone is asking for more details, I'll share some. This all happened quite a while ago, so I don't remember a ton of details, but I'll share what I do remember. The principal got caught to break up a fight on the school bus. An older high school kid, 16 or 17 I think, was speaking on a middle school kid. He refused to stop when the principal told him to and refused to get off the bus. The principal went to pull him out of his seat and escort him off the bus, and the kid sucker punched the principal. The principal punched him back. Neither one was seriously hurt. The student got suspended and the principal got an official reprimand, I think. My freshman year in marching band, there was a rumor going around that two of the senior girls were in the same gender female relationship. Later that year, it turned out to be much weirder. It was found out, I don't remember how, that but they were both also sleeping with the female band director too. It didn't really get out in public, but it was an open secret in the school, not just among the kids, but among other teachers and the administration. Because they were both 18, the band director wasn't arrested or anything. But she did leave the school and take another job somewhere else, in the middle of the school year. The superintendent one was a real doozy. Our superintendent was from a local political family. He was superintendent, his wife was on the school board, his dad, or father-in-law, was a county commissioner. His daughter was one of the teachers at the school. Our school had been having financial difficulties, and as part of trying to solve them, there was an audit that turned up like $500,000 missing from the school treasury. Evidence pointed towards the superintendent. Shortly after this came out, there was a fire in the school administration offices that destroyed a bunch of financial records. It was investigated as arson, but nothing was ever proven. Rumor was the fire chief was paid off, and the guy, his wife, and his daughter all resigned and moved away. Opinion: those are crazy. Releasing that many crickets is a legendary prank. The principal getting into a fight on the bus was intense. I wonder how many people would be able to hold back after being sucker punched. The band director's love triangle is wild and must have been the talk of the school for a while. And the superintendent's scandal, missing money, a suspicious fire, and the cover-up is straight out of a drama. Story 7. Two of my high school teachers told me these two stories. My English teacher told me that some years before I was in her class, she had this one kid who was tall and kinda big, but he was quiet and never caused any trouble, and did his work for most part. Well, one day he came in with his hand wrapped in bandages, and when asked what happened, he gave a non-committal answer. Flash forward a couple of weeks and the kid hasn't been in class for about 2 weeks, and she asks the class where he is. All the kids get quiet and one kid pipes up. He was arrested for beating and doing really bad things to a girl. He is going to juvie. My science teacher, Mr. B, told me this. He had a student, a girl, who was a hard worker and had a good attitude and was well behaved, but within the span of a few weeks, her grades began to drop and she began to act out, and one day she blew up on another student. So Mr. B took her outside and asked her before he wrote her up, "Is there anything going on?" That caused the outburst because she was a good student and was smart, and she just broke down and told him that there was a body under her bed. Come to find out, her mom had unalived her boyfriend and hid him under the girl's bed, and she had been sleeping with a body under her bed for a couple of weeks. Edit. I tried to grammar, not my forte. Also, in regards to the second story, I am unsure how long the body was under the girl's bed. I was told these stories 6 or 7 years ago. Opinion. The first is unsettling. A quiet kid involved in something so serious is shocking. Well, I guess evil people are good at hiding their true selves behind a facade. I feel bad for the student acting out because there was a body under her bed. Who hides a body under their kid's bed? I guess not all criminals are known for their smarts. Story 8. In elementary school, the incident was when this kid named Alex stuffed paper towels into a soap dispenser and lit it on fire in the bathroom. The whole school was evacuated and major stuff was to follow. In middle school, the incident was a well liked kid that most of us thought had it all, decided to commit self deletion. It was very devastating, and so many of us in this school, and really brought home how you never really know what struggles the kid next to you is going through. In high school, the incident was that a semi popular kid was regular getting it on with a teacher. It wasn't well known, but was whispered about. A friend of my brother's leveraged this to his advantage, telling the teacher on the day of the final exam, "I think I got an A in this class because I know about you and my friend, and I don't think you want anyone else to know. He got the A." Opinion. The first one is a classic. I think everybody has heard of a similar story before. In middle school, the student who self-deleted is a tough reminder that everyone hides their struggles, and it's always the person you least suspect that does this. I respect the hustle of the friend who used that information to get an A. Though I think it could have gone very badly if the teacher decided to retaliate. Story 9. In grade 8, my buddy Vinny brought a pregnant rat to school, and it spawned a bunch of rat babies in his locker. There were rats everywhere that year. Opinion. It must have been a real nightmare trying to deal with all those rats. What a chaotic year. I would have called it the year of the plague. Story 10. We had a chicken pen at our school, a big fence around it with many chickens. We came to school one morning, and all the chickens had been beheaded as well as a couple of birds that had been stoned. Opinion. What a way to start the day, witnessing such a gruesome scene. It must have been awful for everyone, especially since the students and staff probably saw the chickens as beloved pets. Whoever did that was definitely a psychopath. Story 11. During my freshman year of high school, 3 deer broke a window and ran around inside the school until a teacher chased them out. Opinion. Props to the teacher who chased them out. Story 12. Our business club was so enterprising, they started counterfeiting money, resulting in the Secret Service showing up. Opinion. Your business club getting into counterfeiting and attracting the attention of the Secret Service is really next level. Talk about taking business skills to a whole new level. Story 13. We had two big ones. A black kid running for senior class president claimed he received a bunch of racist text messages from someone telling him to drop out, including ones calling him the N-word. This was a predominantly white school. After a series of police investigations, news reports on local TV stations about the incident, and at least 5 different school assemblies on why racism is wrong, we found out over the summer that the kid sent the texts to himself. 2. The foreign languages taught in the school were Spanish, German, French, and Italian. We had exchange programs for every language except Spanish, and no one really knew why. Any teacher we asked would either claim ignorance of the reason or make up some excuse about financial constraints. Senior year, a bunch of us found out from a librarian that the year before our freshman year, some senior knocked up one of the Spanish girls who was part of the exchange program, and it was this whole scandal that basically ruined the school's reputation and prevented us from having any exchange program in Spain. Opinion. The senior who faked racist text to himself and caused a huge drama is pretty shocking. It's crazy how much effort went into addressing something that wasn't even real. I think it's a tough lesson on how false claims can cause chaos and make people doubt real accusations in the future. And learning that the lack of a Spanish exchange program was due to an old scandal is mind blowing. It's crazy how one event can affect things for years. Story 14. Easter egg hunt in 1998. I think 5 people were injured. One had to be taken by helicopter to the hospital. I was never really sure of the specifics, but apparently some of the parents were trying to cheat and find eggs for their kids instead of letting the kids do it themselves. This led to arguments and things got out of hand. Fortunately, no one was seriously hurt, and the school didn't ban Easter egg hunts, it just banned parents from it. Opinion. It's wild that an Easter egg hunt could get so out of hand that people got injured, and parents who were supposed to be the responsible ones were to blame for all this is disappointing to say the least. I'm glad to hear that no one was seriously hurt, and banning parents from the future hunts seems to be the right thing to do. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell button to receive notifications to my latest videos.